Hi, video number 5, sequels go. This is going and going, but this would, I think should probably be the last one. I just want to show you now how to go into the feedback module in order to give assessment feedback for the assessment you designed in Foundations. So I'm still in the course area, right? And I can see the unit here and so on. I can either go up here and go to feedback and then go to that course and that section and so on, or I can just go here and go to feedback for section 1. Okay, again, everything's based on sections because we don't assume that everything's going to happen at the same time or that things might not be adjusted from section to section. So I'll click on here. It goes to assessment. And in the feedback module, you'll see that I have the samples that I put in place. Okay, and so here's the one I did, the sample performance task that I did before. I can either archive it, which means I take it out of from being live, but I don't lose it, it's still there. Or I can go to take me there. So I'm gonna do take me there. So if you'll notice, there's a list, when I do so, a list of students on the left-hand side. When I click on a student, what comes up is basically the result of what I did in Foundations. Okay, so it's a second test unit, a sample performance task. Let's go down here so you can see it. And for this student. Now, what it gives me are based on what I selected as being the assessable goals, the criteria for that assessment task, it gives me a series of sliders. Okay, and we can talk about what we want to see happen in terms of what types of scales you want to use eventually. Right now we have a basic standards-based grading scale, and you'll see that I can just slide it to where I want to be. I can view the rubric up here if I want. If there's insufficient evidence, I can click on here, so it's not a 0, it's just a null, so it doesn't count against the student. It's just there's not sufficient evidence for that. And the same thing with the second standard under expressions and equations that I put in place. I can now put what I would like in terms of providing assessment feedback to students. If you notice up here, the green box comes up all the time. It automatically saves every time I do anything in that way. All right. And then these duplicates here, by the way, are just the result of what I talked about before, that we still need to do some aligning. And when we bring in all your standards, we'll do aligning with subject areas and grade levels. So don't worry about those duplicates for now. So now you'll see the grafting. And you'll see that there are 2 performance areas that I selected to graft onto this assessment. One was a cognitive skill. So it's brought up the cognitive skill scale, okay? And again, it allows me to use the language from that and put it in place, and it automatically saves those for me. And the other one, resilience and grit, is a disposition. So it brings up the dispositional sort of developmental scale in that. These also have a not evident down here. But again, just remember, not evident does not mean 0. It just means there's not enough evidence to give them feedback in this area. But I'll put that in place, and you'll see it will save every time I do so. And so you can see how the selection of criteria for assessments in stage 2 of Foundation has now created what I call sort of a feedback blank, right? A feedback template for me, drawing the appropriate scales for the goals, learning goals I had for the assessment, and putting them in place. Now I can also, let's move this out of the way, do a comment here. So, so we'll just say, hello, Jen, did a great job on blah, 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 whatever that might be, okay? And then I can save that to save the comment. Now, I just want to show you a couple of things here. One, over here on the left-hand side, if you notice, let's click this, there's a red if no assessment evidence has been provided for the student. There's a yellow dial if assessment evidence has been provided, but it's not been completed. When I am done with this and I want to be able to commit that assessment feedback and share it with the student, I go mark as complete. When I do so, this comes up, the green check mark to let me know. So it's just a handy way to help you to know the level to which you've completed assessments or shared them out and so on. Okay, so this really is kind of the end of the video sessions. I just wanted to be able to show you, again, it's important that we understand how Foundation works in order to look at how we do assessment design within stage 2, and then how to publish both the unit and the assessment so that it flows through to Foundation in stage, in the feedback module, or from foundation to the feedback module, so that we can give assessment feedback to the student. Okay, hoping this helps. Love to hear about your day after it's over, and as always, thanks so much for your time, and I wish you all the best, and hope to see you again sometime soon. Okay, take care, everyone.